Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm talking about speed. What comes first, the pull or the push and the swing? Three ingredients that really work towards making a golfer maximize as much club head speed down at strike possible. Today I've got four ingredients up, slightly different one today. I've got club head speed up there because obviously I want to reference speed and how you might go about getting it. Why am I doing it with the 7-iron? Well, I'm doing it with the 7-iron because that's where you spend a lion's share of your time practicing. And being dynamic with something shorter, a club that's shorter, is much easier than doing it with something longer. And the reason for that is that when we have a driver and we pull on the golf club, understanding that that club must swing is really, really crucial. So what I'm going to do on this first shot here is I'm just going to talk about the pull. And this is probably the most conflicting of messages on my channel, that I actively encourage you and I will actively guarantee you that you do pull the golf club. So at the top of the backswing, when we reach the pull phase in the downswing, how much you pull on the golf club, which activates your shoulders, will be one of the huge speed producers, drivers of your downswing that will give you energy at the golf ball. What I want to now do is take out the swing element down at the bottom of the golf ball. I'm just going to pull the club for as long as I can all the way through the shot. So I pulled that harder, but I didn't let it swing. And we can immediately see that the attack angle increased, the face opened, and the club head speed actually dropped. Now I pulled on that shot there harder. I'm going to try to pull even harder still and try to pull for longer. So I pulled for even longer, pulled harder, got 86 miles an hour. Now for the increase in effort, I absolutely didn't get the payback in speed that I would have expected. I got 2 miles an hour. But when you understand that the harder you pull the golf club, the more you have a chance of loading the shaft, loading your wrist angles on the way down, that is part of you creating leverage. Creating leverage between your arms and your club shaft in the downswing. The second part of using that pull phase is the swing down at the bottom. The swing down at the bottom is the opportunity to you now feeling like you can unload the shaft. The pulling is going to make the face more open. So if I now pull the club harder, but I now make my grip weaker, and I pull it again for longer, so I've made my left hand weaker, I'm now going to do exactly the same as I have been doing to date, just pulling it hard. Now you can see the club face is even more open. Didn't actually pick up the face angle, but let me tell you, you can see the ball is going to the right. Give us a little shout out to GX Golf, lovely gloves. It's not a paid promotion, but I'm giving them a try for the first time. Maybe we want to go and try those out. So the pull phase with a weaker grip will encourage a golfer to hit it further right. So the grip is such an important part, which is why I go on about it so often, that the more your grip is on the stronger side of life, the more you can pull it. When you do pull it for too long, you'll see that the ball goes less to the right. Because the grip and the orientation of the hands on the club, when you're pulling the club, will keep the face in a better orientation. But remember, if you don't allow the club to swing, you won't make use of that pull phase. So the pull and the swing, suddenly increases the club head speed to 88 miles an hour. I pulled just as hard, but I didn't pull for as long. So the swing phase down at the bottom is allowing me to make use of the pull phase. I pull swing. This is just me using my upper body. From the belt line up. On these swings here, I've got very little in the way of thought of using my feet here. I've switched those off because what I want to do is, as I go on, and I've already warmed up today, I want to increase my club head speed and show you what the increase in speed can do to you as you use these different phases of these three key components of producing speed. First of all, the pull phase. Secondly, the swing phase. And thirdly, the force and pressure up through the ground. The force and pressure up through the ground that actually holds you back from moving past the golf ball, which is why for so long golfers have been asked to not pull the golf club, because if you pull the golf club and you've got this push off past the golf ball with your right foot, I pull and push towards the target, just watch what happens. How far past it I would be and how far right it would go. So if you don't think about pulling the golf club and you think about just trying to turn on the spot, we see everyone trying to turn through the ball. You'll take away the energy of the pull, and you can see the club speed has dropped significantly. Therefore, in the pull phase of the golf swing, as you're pulling the golf club down to the golf ball, you better make sure that you've got something that is an adversary to that pull direction. So as we're pulling, we're very much feeling like the left leg is working against that pull phase, which will make the club feel like it's going to work, the handle work forwards. Now, as you're loading the golf club and you're pulling the handle forwards, with the speed that my lower half can now produce from rotation, and rotation isn't from hip rotation, rotation comes from leg length. As I push up off the floor, as I pull the golf club down, those two things are keeping me very centered, which allows me to then feel like I can get the swing down at the bottom of the ball. So now when I start to feel the pull and the push keeps me centered, it allows the golf club down at the bottom to start to swing. So I'm going to pull and push so I get more energy through my feet. Now I'm up to 89 miles an hour with a 7-iron. Now the longer I start to make my backswing, the more wrist set, the more hip turn, the more shoulder turn, the more hip turn from the leg length, the more wrist set of the golf club, depending on how much you like to see or feel, will then start to make me feel like I can create even more speed on the way down because I've got more time. And so in doing that, all of a sudden, we start to really amp up the distance. So we go a little bit more wrist set, we go a little bit more leg length in my right leg, which opens me up. Now as I pull, I'm going to allow the club to swing, but as I'm pulling, I'm pushing back against my body moving towards the target and allowing the golf club to swing down at the bottom. A little bit out the toe, that one. But all of the time, I'm using myself to continually pull, push, swing. Pull, push, swing. The three key elements that produce speed at the bottom of the golf swing that allows the golf club to line up. The minute that face orientation doesn't line up, you've got a problem. Because as soon as you pull on a golf club and you start hitting the golf ball offline, whether it be a slice or whether it be a hook, the golfer will want to shut something down to stop the ball going offline. And as soon as you do that, that's when you start to lose distance. Because how you navigate yourself around the golf ball while you're trying to produce speed will either keep the ball going straight or make the ball go more offline. The crucial discipline of making someone hit it further is making sure that they know the assets that they can use, the pull, the swing, the push up with the leg. Those three assets will allow them, within the understanding and how they need to move, which I've talked extensively about in my channel, will allow them to feel like they can create a lot of speed down at the bottom of the ball and keep hitting the golf ball straight. Because if you can't keep hitting the golf ball straight as you're swinging it harder, it is an utter waste of time, because you won't do it when it comes to the golf course and hitting shots. You see the best golfers in the world battering it off the tee, and they do so and keep the golf ball going straight. Understand that when you control the shape of the ball whilst hitting it a long way, that's how you'll maximize your speed. I hope you've taken 3 keys to increasing the club head speed in your golf game, and I think you'll find that's good coaching.